Stay tuned for another video on Youthful Balance. This is just my makeup application from start with a bare face to finish. Hi guys, it is, 8 o'clock in the morning. And before I put any of my makeup on, I thought I would jump on and create a video that shows the entire start to finish process. So this is my bare face. Now, I didn't used to go out in public, let alone put my no makeup face on the internet. So I thought I would quick do that to show everything. So as you can see, I do still have some fine lines and wrinkles. I am 42 years old. I should have these things. I don't want to look like a plastic face. I don't want to look like that. But I want things to be softer. So I do have a few wrinkles right here, and I use my face. I use expression in my face, but I think what my point of this whole thing right here, when I use this Youthful Balance, I think this softens, when you do relax your face again, it softens those, and it makes it so those don't remain quite as prominent. So that is what we are talking about today. Youthful Balance facial oil, the 4 all natural ingredients. Amazing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take you through my whole darn routine. So I use this much oil. I put it in my hand, and in the mornings, this is what I do. So I rub it in my hands first. I put it on the backs of my hands first to kind of distribute the majority of the oil there. Not the majority, about half, I would say. And then I rub the rest into my face. And I really rub it in there. Sometimes I have some patchy skin, patchy areas. So right here, right now, because I blow my nose a lot, I've been having some allergies. So, I have red, rough skin right there because I've been blowing my nose so much. And then I pull this product down onto my neck and my décolleté. And then I have a bunch of product still left over on the backs of my hands and the front of my hands. So I just rub that into my hands really good, because this works wonders on really any part of your body. I mean, you can put this on a wound, a scar, a fresh scar, an old scar. This will help. All of these ingredients that are in this product have been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties. And so I'm not claiming that they are anti-inflammatory, but they have shown to have anti-inflammatory properties based on what I have found in my research. So what I'm gonna do now is nothing. I sit here and I wait for this oil to completely absorb. As you can see, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but I am a little bit oily and shiny because of this. So this has to take a second to absorb. So in the meantime, we can quick talk about what is in here. So this is a blend that I have tweaked the last 3 years to kind of get a perfect blend that works for this situation. But what the biggest ingredient in here, the carrier oil, is called jojoba oil. And jojoba oil it's a gold oil that most closely resembles your skin's own oil. So that's the best thing to put on your face, because it's going to basically mimic what your face produces already. So you're not fighting anything. So, and then the next thing is rosehip seed oil. Rosehip seed oil is very, also has been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties. It is like the natural form of vitamin C. So it's an antioxidant. It's just really good. If you Google rosehip oil, you're gonna see that it has a multitude of benefits for your face, your body, everything. And then the other 2 rock stars, the big rock stars in this oil, are helichrysum oil and frankincense oil. And I have done a lot of research on the sources of these oils. And so I get them from very, very reputable companies where I know how they process it, because that's a big thing. I believe with supplements and essential oils and things like this, you get what you pay for. So I do pay a little bit more money for these raw materials, because I know Like they actually divulge how they're processed and how they're made, which is very important when it comes to oil. So, so helichrysum oil and frankincense oil. The helichrysum oil is like, it's called immortelle in some places, which means immortal, which, you know, like fountain of youth type of thing. And this is funny. If you haven't heard me say this before, I stumbled upon this whole concoction because I was making a spray for my show cattle hair. So my family and I show cattle, and part of showing cattle is getting their hair, you know, soft and growing well and luxurious and beautiful. So, and I was like, gosh, you know, me being, you know, who I am, I was like, I feel like I can come up with something for that. So I looked to see what, my cat's behind me. I looked to see what would be beneficial. So I have a multitude of oils that I put in there. And one of the ones that kept popping up when I was looking at oils for good blood circulation and blood flow, because that's what you do to grow hair, helichrysum kept popping up. And I was like, what the heck is this? So the more I read on it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like this could be really good for your face. So what I did was I took that base oil for my cattle show hair. I call it hair power. So what I did was I took that base oil and I thought, I'm going to try this on my face. Let's hope I don't grow a beard, because that's what I was like using it for my cattle to help grow hair. It did not grow any hair on my face. But what it did was I was like, oh my gosh, like I really like this. So then I removed a couple oils. I added the frankincense in there, and I was like, I feel like this is very good. So I just kept using it. And then the more and more I used it, the more and more I noticed in the mirror that especially in the car, you know, like you're driving in the car and you look at yourself and you're like, oh, this is a really good mirror because that natural light. But then I was like, oh my gosh, like this is really pretty awesome. Like my skin itself is just looking really good. And I hadn't really changed anything. I'd been using the same skincare line that I have been since I was 18 years old. So I just added this to it. So I thought this has to be it. And I really think it is. So that's why I decided to market it. Okay, so I think we've waited long enough. It still does feel moisturized, but it doesn't feel oily. That's the key. That's how you know it's going to, it's fully absorbed. You can wait a little bit longer even yet. I used to, when I first had started this, I used to have to wait maybe like 15 or 20 minutes to get it fully absorbed, because your skin almost doesn't know what's happening. When you put an oil on it, it's not used to that. And so it's like, but now once you've been using it more and more and more, it accepts it and absorbs quicker. So FYI on that, it does take less and less time the more you use it. So now it's time to put my moisturizer on, because this product is not a moisturizer. Some people do use it as a moisturizer, and that's fine, but I just feel like I need to add an additional moisturizer just to get my makeup to sit well and to have it look better. So for me, I use an additional moisturizer. So I just put that on. And again, I use a lot. I'm not gonna Henry, get out of here. That's Henry, my husband, who's being a dork. He's done with his chores this morning outside. So like you can see, my moisturizer just made my face shinier than my oil did. So if you're wondering how oily this stuff is, it's an oil, but it's not as oily as you think it's gonna be. So again, I rub this on the back of my hands. So speaking of husbands, I am slowly talking my husband into using this because, you know, as we all do, we get older. And so I've just said, hey, maybe you should put some on. And he's like, yeah, maybe I should. So I think he's like into that mindset maybe. So maybe I'll get a couple before and after pictures. Okay, so my next step, I just put concealer on. I don't wear a foundation per se, but I do use a concealer. I'm not sure how well this is gonna go. I've never put concealer on a camera before. So this is what I do, because I have those red lines from below my nose, and I'll just kind of highlight down my nose. Yes, I have a crooked nose because I broke it. I'm just gonna get my little makeup mirror out because I don't think I can do this. And then I just brush this in. And the combo with the oil and the moisturizer almost just gives this a little bit better surface. And that's why I use a moisturizer on top of it. My dog was pestering my cat. Okay, so then I take this and I just brush this up because, again, I'm highlighting tip of my nose. And I'm kind of a pointy individual. So I try not to highlight too much of my facial features because that just accentuates my pointiness even more. Okay, but what I'm trying to do is just kind of get the redness down a little bit more. Youthful Balance does, over time, you have to give it some time, but it will take redness down because it helps with the inflammation. Okay, and then I have thinner skin on my eyelids, so I kind of give that a brush with my concealer. Then I use my tinted powder, and I just brush that on a little bit. Because I don't use a liquid foundation anymore. I found that I don't really need to. So I just use a little bit of this tinted powder. And I'm sorry that you guys are hearing all my background noise, but I'm at my house because my kitchen has the most natural light. And I do my videos at my store in either the bathroom or my office, and that doesn't have any natural light. So I figured I would do this quick here. Okay, so my next step is I take my brush and then I'll put my bronzer and my my blush on. So this bronzer, I just kind of put here as to create a little contour because I have a very large forehead and I pull my hair back. And so I try to kind of bring that down with bronzer. And I put it right here too. Again, I really don't know if I need to do this because I am so angular. My face is in general, but I don't know. I just feel like this helps just a little bit. So, but I do put quite a bit of, I wanted more up here. Bronzer up here just because to lower that forehead a little bit. And I mean, you can always blend makeup, which is great. Use one of these little beauty blenders and just pat, 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 pat. I'm sorry, I'm sniffing. Again, I kind of have allergies right now because of all the stuff that's floating around in the air. Farmers are just getting done. Corn's drying. Okay, so there's that. Then I put on my blush. And I use a cream-based thing because the more and more I used my Youthful Balance oil, the more and more I was less oily. So I needed a little bit of a cream-based to kind of balance my face out. Now my dog's eating her food. The joys of life. And I do put this over my powder because my powder is light enough to where once I blended that in with that beauty blender, it almost became part of my skin. It's not sitting there like as a powder. So I did not use any foundation. I just have a little concealer, bronzer, blush so far. Then I'm just gonna do my eyes and I'm gonna quick do that and then I'll come back. So I am back again with my eyes done. I did eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, and my brows. Not the best, by the way. Oh well, it's a day off. I'm hanging out at home running some errands. So, but what I wanted you to see with that whole makeup video was the fact that I don't use very much and I don't use a foundation at all. And because I don't need to. And I completely attribute this to the Youthful Balance facial oil. It balances out tone and texture. So where your face over time, this is not an overnight miracle, but your face over time will require less like cover up because your natural skin is going to show through. It's going to give you that youthful glow that you've been missing for a few years. It's going to bring that back to you. So stop by any one of our locations, Van Horn, Marengo or Belle Plaine, Iowa, go online. You can buy it online. We'll ship it to you, cornerstoneapothecary.com. Click shop now and you can get it. If you're picking it up from myself personally, you can still pay for it online, order it online, cornerstoneapothecary.com, and just click in-store pickup, and then just communicate with me that you're getting it from me directly if you live, closer to my home, because I live quite a ways away from my businesses. So some of my friends around my home have been buying it. So just order it and pay for it online, click in-store pickup, and then we can touch base. Everybody have a good day. I am out running errands today, so enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.